welcome to Game Changer World. John, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. We got off to about a minute or two, a little late start here. Perfectly fine. Man, everybody's in here. Hello, Clown. Balls on 30 FPS. I like that name. Reed, nice to see you here. Our West Coast correspondent, Great One, is here. Nyan is here. Welcome. Wow. Yeah, Matt Brown, nice to see you. Let's see if I didn't miss the Crow Fairy Tale is in here. ZM Zo. Wow. Do not fret. So many people rolling in. Thank you so much for coming in. I should have just said doing great, B. So how you doing tonight, B?
We're good tonight. It's a good Tuesday night. We got a pretty fun show to talk about and a lot to look forward to coming up here this weekend as well.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those episodes where we're going to review the JCW show, a rather smaller show. You know what I mean? This isn't a GCW show, but it gives us something to talk about. It gives us a reason to get together, kick it, you know, and just try to have a good time. So really, that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to kick it, try to have a good time. We're going to also try to preview the upcoming two shows that'll be coming up here on Friday and then on Sunday. Friday, we had that was GCW Bangin In Little Rock out in Little Rock, Arkansas. Looking forward to that. And then GCW's Take a Picture from Kansas City, Missouri. We will be discussing those a little bit later on tonight. Let me get into my spiel real quick here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live. Comment if you can basically get a chance to help out our algorithm. Also, super chats are available if you want to donate. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us. Sit down and relax. You're amongst friends. We're going deep into the night tonight. We have a lot to cover, and this will be a great show. We ready to just get started with the news and jump into it?
Yeah.
Rock and roll. All right, a benefit is being held for Jeff Cannonball on September 14th at 4 p.m. Cannonball Fest will be at the New Providence High School in New Providence, New Jersey. The first talent announced for the show, MJF. There was also a second announced. I'm trying to think of who that was off the top of my head. Do you remember who it was?
I know there's Speedball got announced today, and I know there was another one.
Speedball was number 3.
Yeah, I forgot number 2 was.
She's fantastic too. Oh, that's okay. It'll come to me when I
Willow,
get you.
yeah,
Willow.
I was trying to think of
Thank you so much. Great one.
There we go. Willow. Yeah, that turned out to be one hell of a show for sure. The MJF with that name, that first name was pretty major. When Joey was teasing it, I was like, oh, I was wondering. I had nowhere in my mind that I have MJF being the first name. So yeah, I can't wait for that show, and it's going to be a pretty good event for Jeff Cannonball Fest.
Also, we're getting a lot of people sending love. Thank you so much. Yep. Hit the like. It's free. Yeah, it's just going to be an awesome night. Oh my gosh, there is. Yeah, there. Hey, again, start the conversation where you want to, guys. Adam, nice to see you here also. Yep, the JCW review. Let me get into this next thing we have here on Thursday, June 26th. GCW invades Coney Island. At 6:40 p.m., there's a baseball game between the Brooklyn Cyclones and the Jersey Shore Blue Claws. First pitch will be thrown out by Joey Janela. Also, free autographs and pics with GCW wrestlers. So if you're a GCW fan, you can actually catch this baseball game for free. The first 500 GCW fans to email this email will get free tickets to the game. It's gcwbaseball@gmail.com. Again, if you can make it, gcwbaseball@gmail.com. That will at least get you into the baseball game for free. So if you have a chance, definitely check that out. GB, I wish we were near Coney Island. I could take in a game and some wrestling.
For real. Like I didn't even realize that this was a different night than the show. I thought they were promoting like for that show, and like that's cool that they're giving fans an extra night if you're in that area to go check out the game for free and meet the wrestlers. That's a good way, I guess, good way to promote it too. I wasn't putting 2 and 2 together until just recently.
And you know, I just hope it all goes well for them across the board. You know what I mean? You just hope that GCW goes out there, sticks their neck out there to do something different. You know, you just hope it goes well.
Yeah. I know he's a big baseball fan too, and so am I. So it's just kind of nice to see the collaboration going on between them, and it's good for the minor league program as well.
Yeah, he's definitely a baseball fan. So let's get into that next spot here. GCW has added Bear Bronson to their touring schedule. We have 3 appearances lined up: July 5th in Hartford, Connecticut, August 1st in Rutherford, New Jersey, and August 23rd in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Tickets are on sale for Hartford and Rutherford right now. Also, I want to mention here, just because Bear's been such a big deal lately, that he had just released, I believe, some shirts online. So if you get a chance, go over to Bear's Twitter page, and I think he'll be able to direct you from there on where to go. Yeah. Any thoughts on Bear past what we've said recently, man?
Good job capitalizing on that good picture, all that blood, and turning it into good merch. We've kind of talked about with like Billy Starks doing that when she got the big cut, Cole Radrick and everyone else. It was nice to see Bear Bronson take advantage of it. That does look like a cool shirt. I was looking at it. So yeah, go check it out.
And then Reed just said Brett hasn't replied to any emails yet. So he said, I assume he's waiting on the first 500 and doesn't have that yet, which means there's a good chance that I mean, if you're looking to do it, or if you have a chance, go get on it. What are you going to do? You show up, you watch a game, eat, drink, watch some wrestling. Not too bad of an evening, if you ask me. I would like to have some announcements on the Backyard Show. It's only 2.5 hours, or 2.5 weeks away. I do have one thing on it. By any chance, do you have that nearby anywhere, Brant? Oh, you muted. The first one of the night, my friend.
Are we clear on it? I guess I'm glad I'm muted.
You know what? I'll wait till we're clear on it, just in case, because I don't want to. But yeah, because then we could release what's going on a little more with what the situation is there. Yeah, that graphic was fire.
Yeah, Bear Bronson's graphic. I'm telling you that, like, I actually was looking at that merch. The red got me for sure.
Man, I'm telling you, dude, he's on fire again. Love Hosses. I mean, I see now an instant threat for the JCW, GCW, UV title.
I'm excited for everything that he's able. Like, I wouldn't even mind seeing him and Slade do like some hardcore tag team matches and work together after finding out that they worked. They were kind of training partners. So yeah, I'm excited to just have Bear for that. For what I think it was 3 shows that he announced so far. So
yes,
probably be more than that, but I'm excited.
Was there anything else you wanted to kind of mention or talk about before we run into the review of this show?
No, not that I can think about. I think as we review, I think some stuff will come up then.
Sweet. All right. So I'll let you do your thing. I'm so sorry. I'm kind of thrown off today. It's been a wild one for me, and I think a wild one for you too. We don't have our graphic up here. That was in the midst of work as independent wrestling.
All right, our show tonight is JCW's Recs.Sports.Pro.Wrestling from the Ridgefield Knights of Columbus in Richfield Park, New Jersey. Knights of Columbus, right?
Yes.
Oh, you got me on that
KOC
there. I had to think about the T there.
I wrote here, did Ivan put together that JCW opening video? It had like incredible 80s vibes. It was VHS style and 80s style music. So, you know, indie fans like old footage, and I think it just hit on all cylinders. So it looks like something he did, but I don't know. So if anybody had a chance, though, that opening, that was a pretty good damn opening.
Yep, whoever's in charge of that, good start. Good start to the show.
And I was going to ask Frank, but Frank is a little under the weather. I was going to ask how many were there, because I could tell it was smaller, but there was a vocal group of fans that kept the place sounding alive throughout that night. Bless those fans. What are your thoughts on a Thursday show? Do you think this could maybe be a JCW trial for a Thursday night show?
I mean, there's nothing else. Like, I can't. What on Thursday? There's usually like Impact Wrestling. The Ring of Honor gets released, but I wouldn't mind seeing a random if it turns into like a weekly or bi-weekly, and like some more stories are being told, and they start like kind of flesh this out. I would absolutely like to see JCW kind of turn into a Thursday night, weekly or bi-weekly show, or everything. I don't know about monthly being the one big show a month being on Thursday night. I don't know how that kind of would work out as the kind of attendance kind of showed, but for the sickos like me, you, Frank, who was there, and everybody, I'll absolutely take a Thursday night show though, for sure.
I watched it. You know what I mean? What else am I doing that night? I was like, shit, might as well just sit down and watch a show. No complaints. So also I want to say great job by Nick Knowledge and Veda Scott. They did a fantastic job on this show. Wild idea. I noticed those back walls were bare all night. Get a JCW banner, or maybe even put the merch tables further, like closer in view of hard cam on that back wall. Cause then fans at home can kind of see the wrestlers walking around back there. Just another little thing on the screen, so to speak. It's almost like having a nice little cameo, but, other than that, that's kind of all the little comments that I really had for this show before we started in any further. Do you have anything?
No, just going into the opening, as we kind of talked about earlier. The video was good, and I wonder if that was Ivan too. Yeah, let's go right into the first match, as it is for the GCW Tag Team Champions, as Young Dumb and they said something different on pot. I didn't even write it down. I don't think. Let me see. I think they said it was a different name. It was like what the P stands for, Young Dumb, and I don't think it was Price. I think they said like something else too, or something.
Priceless or something.
I don't know. I remember hearing it. I actually listened to it twice. I didn't take a note of it. But it is Young, Dumb, and Price. Jordan Oliver.
For tonight.
Alec Price going against Isaiah Broner and O'Shea Edwards.
So I wrote here that Price is someone who's spent a lot of his early time at JCW. Oliver has also done his time throughout his career. Young, Dumb, and Price gave us exactly what we expected here, a fast-paced and exciting matchup. Don't forget they're still learning and piecing everything together. I feel that over time, this team will be deadly. Broner and Edwards were then out. They're big boys, and they have big balls around their necks. It's like some big necklaces. I love hosses, though. You know, big boys, big balls. It kind of fits, right? You're very smart by not jumping. Oh, you did. You were muted.
I wasn't muted. I didn't say nothing. I was whispering in my breath. I'm like, no, I'm not going to say it.
Broner and Edwards brutalized Young, Dumb, and Price early. Plenty of 2-on-1 isolation, as one of the members were always kept on the outside. Eventually, though, Young, Dumb, and Price got the advantage when they teamed on O'Shea Edwards. Broner and Edwards catching Young, Dumb, and Broke's topes. Young, Dumb, and Price's topes. This is not easy. Broner took a nasty flurry of moves from YDNP, still survived, but not for long. Our finish here, Young, Dumb, and Price hit a double acid bomb, a double acid drop on Broner and covered for 3. Our winners here, Young, Dumb, and Price, still the GCW Tag Team Champions. I'll stop right there. I'm going to give it to you. I need to take a drink and refresh here. My goodness, man.
We had a clear name on the other ones, the Kaiju. I did like that. Nice clear name, Kaiju. No, I loved it. I thought it was a strong opening match, especially for a tag team match. The difference of styles, I think, is what made it stand out for me. And seeing Edwards and O'Shea kind of dominate Price and Oliver there for a little bit was awesome. It was cool to see them. I think they could be very, as you said, the hosses, the powerhouses. They'd be a fun tag team in tag division. I think they could make a lot of noise there. My first matchup, I want to see them in like Violence is Forever. I think that'd be a very strong matchup. And it was a good, successful win for Jordan, Oliver, and Alec Price. And I think you're going to get into it, so I think we'll get into it together there.
Sure. Both B and I are huge fans of both Price and Oliver, and I wrote here, to avoid monotony, I think that the team could use a storyline. I say this as, again, a fan of both men who greatly believes in them. What makes a warrior is the fight, but what makes a legend are the stories they tell. Young, Dumb, and Price was put together after an injury and another's major return. So I have to say, Oliver and Price are creative. I know Price reads comic books. I hope something memorable can come out of this run. I don't want YDNP to be seen as a team of circumstance, but a team of substance. Team moves will continue to help solidify them to the fans that they are a single moving unit. But we want to know, what are you fighting for? You know, booking wise, I feel like maybe they just need a rival tag team. But I will say here, just an idea, anyone they're fighting next, cut some promos. Boom. That's an instant story. You look like badasses for talking mad shit into the camera. And we already know you're going to probably back it up in ring and keep those titles on your on your waist. So, I mean, you might as well talk shit if you know you're going to swish that 3.
And I agree everything with you. The storyline, I think, is what's going to make this tag run. I'll get back to that in a minute. I did like their video. I think they are setting up like a temporary story going into this JCW versus GCW with the Juggalos and the Backseat Boys.
Yes.
I could see possibly. I like that. Like their little promo that they cut afterwards, kind of talking like, "Yeah, you ain't tread acid," and Johnny Cashmere and them. I enjoy that, and I like, but that's what got me invested. Like, there we go. There's a story finally I would like to see, especially with the history that Jordan has with Trent Acid and everything. I think that's going to be a very intriguing story, and hopefully we get to hear more about it going into that show, because I think that has a lot of connection points there. But after that, as you said, I don't know if I can see them keeping the tag belts and moving on from the Backseat Boys. But from there, I would like to see more stories. But I kind of said this at the beginning. If it is a makeshift team, which I don't mind, I do hope it leads into a sort of feud, because I think those two just have natural chemistry together as a tag team, but even more as rivals and as competitors and going against each other. I think that's a very strong feud for independence. We kind of talked about MJF. I said this before. MJF and Daniel Garcia carried carried a little bit of the independent scene for a while as a feud all over everywhere they went as companies. And I think Jordan and Alec could do the same thing as feuds. But until then, I would like to see them, if they are going to keep the belt, have more stories, and maybe they are going to do something together until Cole comes back. But that's still a long ways away there too. But yeah, other than this match was good, I want to see more of the Kaijus as a tag team, but I still want to see more stories. And I'll agree with you for Young, Dumb, and Price moving forward.
Adam also said here, we're doing Sundays for the rest of the year. So that's good to know right there. All right. So I also wanted to just notate here, when Cole returns, do you think that there's a chance for like a tag team with 3 rotating members like SGC, or do you think that something will majorly happen before that time? Now, again, this is like 2026.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even, when I said that, I looked over, I saw that was your next point. I didn't realize. That is a long way away. I mean, them as a tag team would be fun, but we need a story to go with it. I think just to be fun and to carry it that long and make it make sense. But if they are doing it till Cole comes back, I like it kind of weaving its way into maybe causing the friction of the tag team of who's going to carry, like who's the belts, who's Alec Price, who's going to Cole going to pick, are they going to work together if that's what they do? Like, there's a lot of good things that could come if they wait, but that is a long time to wait. So I don't think they will, but I'm just saying if they do, there could be some cool stories.
And I'm going to put up here what our West Coast correspondent says. I think Cole needs to come back as a surprise, cashing in the ring for a singles. I really think that's probably going to be it right there. You know, it's just going to be a hero's entrance. Music hits, holds the ring in the air, marches it right out there. Okay. Does he still have the brass ring when he comes back? Yes. It's been confirmed. He does. Yeah, because he can come back with a new he could come back with a new tag team partner and cash in on Oliver and Okay, so here's how I would write that. Let's have fun. I would basically have the guys get a little cocky over time, and they're like, well, yeah, we didn't need Cole. Yeah, all this time, it just, yada, yada. And then Cole comes back with whoever his tag team partner is, and he's like, oh, you didn't need me, huh? Holds up the ring. Boom, we got a match. That would be kind of fun, I think. Yes, I don't know why. Didn't SGC hold the titles for a while? Or no? Am I wrong there?
I don't remember. I remember I think Manson Jessup. I think it was just them two. I don't think they ever did the free bird rule, but I could be mistaken. It's been a
I'm not against it. I'm not against it for a heel group, because that's kind of, I think that would work great here. That's a good one. So then I'll move on to this next one here. A video is shown. We have Darian Bengston cutting a promo on Marcus. There's only a problem here. He recorded it in the wind. So I don't know if you maybe want to do that when the wind is down a little more, or maybe go inside, or maybe catch a couple views and then go inside and cut the audio. But I couldn't hear it as well. If you get a chance, don't forget that air is blowing into that microphone, and it doesn't always make it easy to hear. And you want the subject of your video to be what you're saying, not the interference, there. And I'm probably being harder than I should be, but I think it's a good thing to say. Just make sure there's no wind blowing.
Sorry, I was trying to look up SGC's tag title run there. All right, our next match is Marcus Mathers versus Darian Bengston.
West Coast. SGC never freebirded.
I literally just clicked on it too. I was like, yeah, I was confirmed.
I like freebirded as a functional word. Like, did you drink too much last night? You're like, yeah, I totally freebirded it.
I was freebirding.
I was freebirding. Oh, that don't sound good. I don't know
I was getting closer. Yeah. All right, back to Marcus Mathers.
All right, so I'll start with Darian. This was Darian's debut. Nick Knowledge kept calling him Bensington. He came out with good energy. Let's give you some Darian stats. 6 years in ring from Waterloo, Iowa. He's a technician trained at the London School of Lucha Libre and the Nightmare Factory. That's under QT Marshall. He's known as the People's Prince, seen mostly on AEW, Naptown Wrestling, Action Wrestling, and TWE Chattanooga. Back to Marcus here. He's showing incredible growth since he earned his WWE ID contract. You can definitely see that. He had huge support the entire night. Beginning of the match, Marcus was countering everything Darian was doing. Good handwork between both. A classic number 2 wrestling heavy match here. Minimal strikes. Started to drag around the 7-minute mark. I'm not going to lie here. And again, this match was 13 minutes long. Darian fought through Marcus's sunset flip and pinned his shoulders for 3. Our winner here, very interestingly, Darian Bengston, and a very straightforward match, but also one of the better matches on the card for the night was what I wrote. I went back and wrote that here after I saw the card. What did you think about this one?
Yeah, I thought it was a good, strong showcase for Darian. I make the same mistake as Nick Knowledge does too, so that's why I'm going to stick to Darian. I was excited to see him too because I've seen a lot of them at Grap House, at some locals, and actually some other companies. And I've always been interested in his work, and I thought he would fit in with GCW. Kind of like this kind of soft launch in JCW. I think he can make a name there with the GCW crowd in New Jersey and carry it forward with maybe bigger GCW shows. But this was a good start. I agree with what you said in your last thing. I thought this was a strong wrestling match. Him picking up the win was a surprise to me, but I enjoyed this match nonetheless. And same thing, Marcus Mathers continues to show his growth, and I hope Darian continues to impress moving forward, and we get to see him more in JCW and GCW.
Agree.
Our next match is a 6-way scramble, as it was Zayda Steel versus Janai Kai, Gypsy Mac, Ava Everett, Joseline Navarro, and Nikki XS.
Okay, so there was a hell of a lot going on here. I'm just going to go straight to my notes. I wrote here, Zayda's on fire. She's doing a great job at GCW. I do feel that she needs a storyline to complete that last piece of her character. She is a fan favorite despite her being a heel. Again, I feel part of that is she has a Tony Deppen style of heel to her. And especially someone younger in her age, it's kind of, well, Tony likes to also kind of be a little obnoxious with it. She does that also, and I actually enjoy that a little bit. A few debuts in this match. Gypsy Mac, 29 years old, 5 years in-ring experience. The Bruja baddie is from New Mexico. Her trainer Gino Rivera. Current FSW Women's Champion, 107 days. Seen on AEW, FSW, East Los Lucha, Impact Zone, and Primos Pro Wrestling. I wrote here, bright future with less than 100 documented matches to her name. And between Bengston and Gypsy, that's already 2 world champions working out of the Las Vegas area right now. Very cool to see. Ava Everett, 6 years in ring experience, hailing from Massachusetts. Ava's gone by many names, just like the Devil, All That, the Ava Taker, the Creator, among others. Trained at the NEPW Academy, that's under Anthony Green and Brian Fury. Seen it Beyond Limitless Live Pro Wrestling, all the way across Europe at WXW and TNT, amongst others. Almost 300 documented matches to her name. She's a 10-time champion, with her most recent championship being her longest title reign at 454 days. She's also a 3-time WXW Women's Champion. Currently in the Cosmic Cuties with LSG. She legit looked at a fan and he opened his wallet and gave her money. I was laughing. I would have told her, I already paid my money. You better go back there and fight Navarro if you want some more money. It ain't happening. He was like,
I love that.
just gave it
I
away,
love
dude.
that. Her character like totally switched. Like,
Yes.
nope, you need the money. Then, oh, you got the money. Then she was like, oh, hi. And then like, okay, big. I loved it. That won me over. I was a big fan of that.
Kings, be strong. Be strong. Don't let that happen out there. Let's see here. On to Nikki XS or Nixi XS, I think would be the best way to put it. 22 years old, 2 years in-ring experience from St. Louis, Missouri. The Versace of Violence was trained under Davey Richards, Jake Parnell, which is Warhorse, Michael Elgin, Mike Outlaw, and Camaro Jackson. Less than 100 matches under her belt. Her first and most recent title win was the WrestleMax Women's Championship, 133 days. For her, I felt like I got 80s vibes. She had a killer running DDT and a double code breaker. So pretty impressive so far on her. And I think I've got 2 more here. Joseline Navarro with the best entrance music, old school hip hop, Bad Boys by Shine. Awesome song. Loved her personality. GCW is a personality company. I see someone who is slightly still in her shell. When she fully comes out of that shell, I think she'll be something awesome. Lastly, welcome back, Janai Kai. Haven't seen her since April 6th of 2024 at GCW versus TJPW. Janai was busy in this match, did a lot of fighting, and looked strong. Our finish was, of course, Janai Kai spin kick to Joseline Navarro's head and a cover for 3. Commentary was talking like this is a return. Some people online said this may have been her response to her mismanagement at MLW. Do you think that we're going to see more Janai Kai at JCWB?
I hope so. I mean, I don't know any about that stuff. Like, I don't know any about the contract or whatever, but I was just happy to see her back. And I think she could have a strong presence, obviously in JCW as she has in GCW. But I think if they kind of push her as a challenger against Masha, she seems like a credible threat. I'll go back to, you were talking about the same way with Zayda Steel, maybe a storyline. Like, I could kind of see her with some help, obviously within her heel group, being a credible threat to Masha and the JCW title. Yeah, I loved everyone's work. Ava, Everett, that part killed me. Gypsy, Mac looked very strong in the ring. Joseline and Nikki were strong characters. I liked their character work, and their in-ring was good too. And Rose, yeah, Zayda continues to shine. And special welcome back to Janai Kai. I was glad she got the win, and I hope she does stick with GCW more. I haven't really seen too much of what's going on in MLW, but I did see a couple, like when she first started going there, I saw some of her matches there and she looked really good there too.
Yep. There we go. Crow saying, I hope we see more Janai Kai. When Janai left from a regular, what was it? 2022, 2023, we saw Janai for the longest time and then went away. Who we see now is much upgraded. And, I think there's some JCW dominance that might come into play if she plays her cards right there. Just looks like she's going to be a challenger in one way or another. Second, here we go. I felt like this match it just lacked a little bit of fluidity. I don't think any of them are particularly seasoned veterans in Scrambles matches also, so there's no one to blame here. It's just what they did spot-wise looked good. I just felt like it reminded me of some of the earlier GCW Scrambles when, it was like, go out there, do your thing, have a couple planned spots, and then anything that happens in between there is just what happens. It felt more like that. And not against it. I just feel like this is one of those things where maybe an agent of some sort put something together, or maybe just the ladies, but this would be one of those things where I felt like if someone talked to them just a little more, they could have put a little more into it here and there. I felt like this was primarily a Janai Kai spotlight match here, more than anything else. And again, I don't know. What do you think here? I'm probably being too rough, but
I like
a little bit of,
I like the plant spots because there are a lot of new names that were, or like not so familiar faces to the JCW people. I enjoyed like giving them their spot and showing them like what they are, like what to expect from them next time we see them. I think that was a good way to kind of introduce some of those new workers. But I think, yeah, ultimately this match was for type up Janai Kai's return and kind of let her pick up the victory.
Well, then I'm going to switch out here out of this match and talk about that Foxcatcher video. They were talking about Mako and a 10K bounty. Okay, so we went from 5K to 10K, and so far it's been about Mako, mainly because that's been the challenger so far. Since Mako has failed now, I think twice. Did he fail twice here? One at 5 and one at 10, or was this his only?
This is only one.
Okay, gosh, I'm mixing him up with someone else, I think. Where do we go from here? I still don't know who it is. I don't think anybody knows who it is at this point. It's all speculation because we haven't been given enough to chew on yet, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, any name works in this situation until we have like clearer lines to kind of color in that sense. But I do like that we have something. We'll talk more about that one here when we get to Masha's match for sure.
Yeah, I have more to say on that later.
Yep. Yeah, Janai needed this one. It was a good match overall with the new folks. I hope we see more of these. Yeah, I don't see a single one there that couldn't come back and do this all over again. By all means, please do.
Yep. Our next match was Charles Mason versus Jake Parnell.
Congratulations to Charles Mason on winning another championship at House of Glory, the House of Glory Heavyweight Championship. Very, very proud of him. That's his second win now, I believe. And I do believe his first win was well over a year, just off the top of my head. I think somebody may have to look that up if they want to.
He was like the Crown Jewel winner the first time. And then I think this is his first time as a world champion, I think.
Oh, my bad. No, I know you're right there. After you mentioned it, I'm like, oh shit, he's right. The transformation from Warhorse to Jake Parnell is astounding. I have to give him huge credit for that. I had to look it up because just with the eyeball test, I wouldn't have known that was the same man. I want to give him credit up front for how much he laid into Warhorse and now how much he's laid into Jake Parnell. True transition that even smarter fans like us have to kind of think, is that really him? Yeah, it was.
And I want to just piggyback off that real fast, and because I think we saw Warhorse. We have seen. I'm not saying we've reviewed on him on the past podcast, and like I think there I said I wasn't like a giant fan of the gimmick or anything. Like it was just like it seemed like it was there, and like it was cool for a little bit hot, and then it kind of died down. I want to echo everything you said. His total reincarnation of this Jake Parnell is so refreshing, so well needed, and it's so damn good so far. I was the same way. This is my first time seeing him not as Warhorse. I am all in on this character. I love it. He even changed like the in-ring move set. He's totally transformed everything. I think that's what we're gonna and we have seen from KJ, and I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. Hopefully his attitude changes a little bit, but Sam will get it out of him here too. And go back to Jake Parnell though. Jake I love it. I'm right there with you. I was not really a fan of the whole Warhorse thing, but I am all in on this Jake Parnell, and I want to see more of it and where it goes with JCW, GCW, and everywhere else. I'm all in on this character. Character change, I should say. Oh, now who's hit by the mute button?
Oh, damn. Is that my first or second? I'm sorry. I've been off tonight. Okay, first. You could have lied to me and said second. I would have believed it.
Made me feel better.
All right, here. All right. So yeah, you introduced
this.
We
actually, got multiple. That's where I first saw that. Sorry. That message you just had up there for grade one. I saw that too. That was the first time I was like, oh, okay. But seeing it now from then to this, and I don't know anything in between. I want to go back and watch the growth of this character and get more of the back, like everything, because I'm all in on it.
He's getting Alan Angel's heat. You know what I mean? That kind of hatred heat. It's not easy to get these days, and he's really getting it. So I give him credit for that by far. We got multiple Charles Mason chants. Mason's a heel, but cheered when against other heels like Holiday and Parnell. It's called popularity. What are you going to do with it? You know, Mason spent the first minute getting inside Jake's head. Fans were solidly behind him. Some of the bigger chants of the night, honestly. The fight kicked up gear once it went to the outside of the ring. Parnell was working Mason's shoulder. Parnell chopped Mason and he came back to life. Credit to Parnell for the tope that was like a missile. The momentum actually sent him several rows deep Also, great height on a picture perfect Macho Man elbow. As a Macho Man fan, I saw that, dude. Excellent job. I also think that Jake really tried hard to get extra height on that, because I don't know how often I see a height like that. Mason and referee Scarlett Donovan having their regular issues. They fight like an old married couple. Something tells me Mason might like those cheers that he's getting from everyone. I feel that maybe he does have his day coming. House of Glory believes he's worth it. Parnell's facial expressions are also very evil. Good job finding the camera. Mason kicking out of pins. Parnell telling him to give up, and Mason won't stay down. In our finish, Mason hits a cradle-style tombstone for 3. He's our winner. Fans were pounding the ring. We had new champ chants from the crowd. I feel like Mason is on a mission here for the GCW championship. And again, after winning the House of Glory, who's going to doubt him?
Yeah,
that's
and
where I'm at.
I want to thank ZMZO here. I didn't know. Yeah, first Grand Slam champion, cruiserweight, tag, crown jewel, and world. So that's a good way to wrap the bow on that House of Glory title win. But yeah, I agree everything that you said there, Mason. The crowd's booing for both wrestlers, I think, added to the intensity of the match. And as you were saying, the chops, the striking, the grappling, everything was top notch in this match. Even though it was heel versus heel, I think more cheers were going for Mason, but it wasn't like a full blown match where it was still like Mason was the face. Like he had he still got his boos here and there throughout this match. So it played out intriguingly, but I enjoyed the difference. Like it was weird seeing like people being booed and like trying to get cheered, but then they don't want to cheer him because really it was intriguing, but I loved it. They told a great story throughout the match, and I liked it. Mason's win and the fans chanting for new champ was, yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, but I think this goes. Effie's got a fun GCW summer coming up with all his world title defenses. Mason, Atticus, he got KJ down his throat. They just announced Mike Jackson, like all these names, like Effie's gonna have a fun GCW world title. This summer is gonna be all revolved around that. So I'm interested to see where Mason gets it. And I like how they finally are acknowledging like Atticus's match against Effie. Like if Effie wins, it says like there, like that's what like those little things like. Is it Holidays really last match with that question mark? I like those little things, even because it totally doesn't give anything away, and it keeps us on like at least talking about it and guessing and coming up with new and different ideas. But Effie's gonna turn heel with all these popular names going, and that's what I was gonna say. The people that are challenging Effie are ones that are kind of normally Effie would think he is the crowd favorite, but as of right now, they're all starting to go towards them and against Effie. So I'm very intrigued on what's going to happen throughout this summer for sure. Twice now, you got it twice now.
So now it's twice. All right. Damn. Mike Jackson gonna win. So Reed Harris Cooper, you got to watch out because every now and then Reed will say something and lightning will strike here. I'm going to talk about this one later in the show, but if Brett would bite, I do believe that would be the oldest world heavyweight champion in wrestling history. Unless someone can check me, that should be the oldest world champion ever.
I don't know how fast to check that one.
Number 2, why aren't we taking advantage on the West Coast of getting Action Mike Jackson together? I've said this a bunch with Bodie Young Prodigy just to have the oldest and kind of the youngest, but no, Reed, you're always serious. No. I'm too dumb to understand, jokes. So, you be nice to Mike Jackson. Let me tell you, Mike Jackson, if I was still as in good a shape, dude, I wish I was in his good a shape now, let alone in my 70s.
And see, I got 2 things here I want to get to. First thing, Reed, you're saying that about Mason. That's kind of crazy just because Mason is literally almost the complete opposite as Amazing Red in wrestling as can be, and that's cool. I'm happy to see Red is creating students that aren't just like him. Like AR Fox, I love how AR Fox is creating students just like AR Fox because I love his style and I love to see it replicated and duplicated and everything. But I love to see like Amazing Red's training wrestlers to be not just how he was, but to be totally different. That's awesome. Like that Amazing Red's doing good work at his school. Second thing, great one here. That would be that's interesting. Yeah, with all these FP things, is he going to hold on to the belt long enough for Ali to return with all these challengers coming out? Like that's what I'm saying. Like now we have all these things to talk about with the world title. This is what I want to start doing with the tag team titles and with some of these other titles, like not just like the summer, like the summer seems like the focus is going to be on the world title, and like all these other titles might suffer. Like I want stories like this going on all over GCW, but it has been it makes for an interesting case there, yeah, for Ali Catcher's return. Yeah, that's good.
There's so much shit going on all over the place. I'm gonna hold my tongue on some of this. Just James, what's up, guy? How you doing tonight? Look at that. Charles Mason's biggest babyface. Interesting. All right. Well, yeah, that's all I really had to say about that one. I just thought it was nice to get a little taste of what Charles Mason popularity would look like. And I felt like he liked it a little. So, you know, he laid into it just a little for fun. It was worth it.
Yeah, then it seemed like he stopped too.
Yeah.
Next match is Jordan Blade versus Miyu Yamashita.
All right. We have a new referee. That would be DM Stevens. He was introduced to us. Welcome, DM, to the referee squad at JCW. The submission sniper, Jordan Blade, was out first, and then Miyu Yamashita came out next. I really do hope she's enjoying her U.S. tour. Miyu matched Jordan's strength with brutality. She always had an answer for anything Jordan would throw at her. The groundwork and striking in this match makes me want a first-time matchup between Miyu Yamashita and John Gresham. I feel like this made me want that after I saw Miyu's work here.
I feel like that's even booked. Even that's why I'm double checking while you're talking. Like,
I think it's coming up.
Yeah,
I think it's coming up. No. I'm actually.
We got Blake versus Miyu. Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Okay, I was just, you had me looking for a second here, and then Miyu Billy versus Young Dumb and Price.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was sitting here. You had me thinking for a second.
I was thinking of the Blake match and not Gresham. My bad. Sorry. Continue.
I'll just go to our finish here. You know how things go. Miyu Yamashita connects with a skull kick and covers for 3. This was just a touch under 12 minutes long. I feel like there wasn't much in the last 3 minutes. I didn't see in the first 8. I would have maybe considered cutting 3 minutes off of that. Well, I said 11. It was 11:53, but really 12. What did you think? Was there anything else on this one that you had some thoughts on?
This reminded me kind of like a good blood sport match with the intense groundwork and the standing strikes. I kind of thought Bloodsport was on my mind throughout this one, but Jordan put up a strong fight against Miyu here, and I'm excited, as we were kind of just saying, excited to see Miyu and Billy challenge Young Dumb and Price for the tag titles.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go into the next little segment we had here. There was a Tony Deppen retrospective. It ends with showing Tony going through doors via Effie's sack rider. Jackson Drake and Griffin McCoy come out to pay their respects. Tony then comes out. No idea, I'm guessing, the context in the video. I don't think he really knew. Griffin starts with, when I was in the backyards, and someone said, that was last week. That broke me for a minute. He says some heartfelt things, then flipped into heel mode. He was shitting on Deppen. I have to say, Griffin is really great on the mic. I found it interesting. He didn't say fucking, he said effing. Really interesting. I don't know. Maybe he's a clean-cut character. I'll give him that if he is. McCoy and Jackson then started to beat down on Deppen, and that's when Jimmy Lloyd ran out. And from there, we basically had an impromptu tag team match.
I will echo your sentiments there on Griffin. I thought this was the strongest promo I've seen from him. And I liked how he didn't have to do all this top guy pointing to his watch bullshit. Like it was just like a straight, like right to the point to Tony Deppen. I liked it. This is what I've been asking for Griffin the longest time. I've been wanting him to drop this top guy stuff. I like to kind of see him go as a solo, but this new tag team with Jackson Drake seems like it's going to work. I think it has some potential for both of them. I think they could do some fun work. And I go back to our tag champs as heels. Griffin and Jackson Drake, I think, could have a fun tag match with Young Dumb and Price, or lead to a feud or whatever. But I enjoyed this. Was Griffin McCoy's one of the highlights for me and of his in a while. And other than his match with Jordan, that dog collar match was very strong as well. But I've always said I hated that top guy stuff. I think their names too are the top guy team. Is that what I heard? Their team name was called?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I
so
believe so.
I didn't see no pointing to watches, so I'll take the name. You don't got to point to watches, but I like it. I like it for a start. And I like it. I want to praise Griffin. That was a strong Griffin point. I don't know. I think we had Frank on here and he wasn't too much of a fan of Jackson Drake and for kind of seeing him because of the other tag team that he's in with the WWID people. But I think Jackson Drake kind of has a little MJF kind of vibe for him. And I think he could find his little place here in JCW would be a good strong start to possibly lead into GCW as well.
You know what? Okay, so I'm just gonna like shoot for, I don't have notes on this one. Jackson Drake. From the first time I seen him, I go, okay, the guy has something. I can see it. Fantastic physically. He's got a good body, a touch skinny, but he's lean. That comes with his younger age, and he fills out. If you go see someone like Seth Rollins or whatnot, you're going to see the same kind of smaller frame. Those frames generally with good work always kind of fill out, and I see there a lot of potential. I think I've heard him a couple times on the mic, not too bad. But again, he's a natural heel. You can see it. I mean, it's, so I think especially for a younger guy, he's got a great start. WWE ID contract in his back pocket. You can't ask for better. If he's going to come down here and get some practice in, and both him and McCoy become something greater from it, I'm all for it. With you too on
Same.
McCoy's microphone work. I think when he knows what he needs to say is when he shines. So this is something where maybe when he needs to get a point across, like we've heard before, he kind of falls a little flat. But when he spoke from the heart, knew exactly what he needed to say, extremely verbose and very well spoken. Natural is a better word. So
yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, that one felt natural where the other ones have felt forced, him trying to get heat and trying to figure out ways. Like this one's just natural. Its backstory was there for him. Yeah, he knocked out of the park for sure.
And just becoming natural with what we were talking about with him becoming more comfortable is just going to take practice. There's no other way. You just kind of have to just barrel through it. I'll go back here into the match. It started, and at some point, I don't see where, but Griffin started bleeding from the nose. I didn't go back and really investigate, but who knows? I wrote here that Deppen showed that he has no problem rolling with those younger guys still. It didn't matter. Same thing with Lloyd. He was extremely busy in this match. There was no, stopping in him whatsoever. Outside of that, I put here that I don't know why, but it's just, I don't feel there was nothing much else really notable. It was just move, move, move. Our winner here was Jimmy Lloyd and Tony Deppen. I felt like these guys were booked as they were two guys in their 50s going against the young guys. That's where it kind of had hey, we can still go, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of funny, but same thing here, man. 12 minutes, 5 seconds. What do you think on this one?
Yeah, I kind of exactly everything you said. I just kind of I left this match wondering if this is going to further along Tony and Griff and McCoy, and is Jimmy Lloyd going to be attached to it, or if this was just kind of one-time thing for the two, and we'll see what happens from Tony afterwards. I kind of hope this was a good start to kind of keep Tony around, and it makes sense for story-wise, and he's working with people obviously that he has history with. So I kind of would like to see the story kind of progress further and see what happens at the next JCW show or GCW show.
What's interesting right now is we have a real life situation where on the, stage side of things, we can get sympathy from the fans right now. So how creative are you if you want to push buttons with your fans' sympathy? Enjoy that. It could go bad. It could go good. Just have fun with it, because again, this is where real life can kind of bleed into real storylines in wrestling. This is it right here. You have our sympathy. It's going to be sad. Play with our emotions. And I know that that's something Deppen really loves to do. Brett, get creative on booking here. Play with our emotions with him, give the man some work, let him go out there and wow us why he still can.
And see, here's the funny thing too. We had him on the podcast. I think it was the day before Cannonball made his announcement, like the next day, if I'm not mistaken. But like we had Tony on the night prior saying he doesn't want to work as a good guy, doesn't want like the sympathy. What's like he likes to work as a bad guy, and then like right away we see him getting the sympathy, getting like it's just as you said, it's just kind of a natural real life kind of playing out for Tony, and he's just naturally going to get the sympathy, and it's just kind of weird to see the mindset change, but it's going to be fun to see this play out because we never really seen a sympathetic or a more fan-friendly Tony Deppen, as we're kind of seeing now, as it seems like. So we will see if this stays like this or if Tony goes back to his old bastardly ways.
I'll tell you what, if I was stepping away from the ring, I'd probably go face and I'd be selling merchandise like crazy right now.
I'd be taking that out. As they all say, get the flowers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. He's a good guy.
Yeah. James, that's where I kind of go with the Jordan and Alec kind of stuff. Like either of them could be a heel, and I think it works good. Like I think both of them work good as faces and both work good as heels. And that's why I think that whole tag team has a lot of story that can be told or waiting to be told here coming up here in the future. All right. Our next match, speaking of tag team, is the tag team members of was it the top team, right? Top team. Teriyaki and Jay Lucas.
Yeah, this one was interesting. This is basically two tag team members going at it. Top team, fans loved both performers, lots of chants back and forth. Jay Lucas has been very good every time we've seen him. There was an awesome Liger bomb in this match, an incredible tope, and a spinning tombstone. Nice catch by Terry, by the way, on the tope. Lucas's pants are a touch loose in the groin, and that could be a problem when he's leaping over his opponent, but also you got to work with what you have. But if you get a chance, yeah, watch that, because I've seen too many times where people are trying to jump somebody and they get caught on some type of a material, whatnot. That can happen. Teriyaki's growing back his hair. I felt like it's like Samson, like that's his power. Also, I felt like it was his signature. You know what I mean? We saw him. He had the hair, look cool.
But I think maybe he wanted to do it, kind of show like, hey, I'm not just one thing. Like, look what I could do. I shaved my head and I've even grown better. Like, I honestly, I think I remember seeing like a post on that. Maybe I'm thinking of a different wrestler, but I just kind of remember seeing like someone make like a kind of a physical change, not just in character, but kind of like to showcase like, hey, I'm not about this one thing. I'm deeper than that. So I've always loved his looks and his creativity in the ring, as you were kind of saying, all these moves. He's been awesome. And it's like it's fun to see how much he's grown since I think it was Noah. He's coming back from Pro Wrestling Noah. So seeing the growth come from there has been awesome to see.
Also, I want to say, same with the growth. He was looking into the camera multiple times throughout the night, way more than before. Great job there. Jay Lucas put in a ton of offense in towards the end of the match, but Terry was reversing everything he was doing. Our finish here, Terry wrapped up Jay with a cradle for 3. This was almost 10 minutes exactly here. Same thing. Fans were pounding the mat after the match. I felt like I wrote here that this is more of the quality trying that we're looking for at GCW. 2 young stars trying their ass off to make people entertained. And I felt like that's really what we had here. That's the spirit I think that JCW is really looking for. And, they gave us 10 minutes of that. Any other thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I know they just kind of interacted a couple weeks ago in a Scramble match, and we were kind of talking about how it'd be fun to see them go against each other, even though they are tag members. And I was really looking forward to it since that night we saw that, and I think it delivered. Both, as you said at the end, Teriyaki counter and everything Jay Lucas did. Both wrestlers did an awesome job because they knew each other's movesets well to lead into some creative changes to how they connected with their moveset. But I loved it. Their knowledge of each other was good. I think they showcased a great singles promise as singles wrestlers, but I'm still want to see them continue to perform as a tag team as well.
So then I'll go ahead and move on to the finish here. I have that both raise each other's hands in the end. I see a lot of potential in these young wrestlers. Terry's 23. I think Jay's around 22. He has roughly 4 years in ring experience. So I figure he probably started right around 18. Both can be somewhere bigger in less than a year with a ton of effort. I do recommend younger wrestlers look at what older wrestlers are doing, be it right or wrong. This is kind of the talk I would give them, but hit the gym daily with excitement, study tape, make connections. Don't let a no knock you down. Don't let a tryout knock you down. And I will say something here very truthful. There is nothing sadder than watching shows after a good chunk of the card had recently been turned down in AEW or WWE tryouts. It's not fun. It's not easy. A lot of motivation goes out the window after that. So most important, learn how to take criticism and to turn that into improvement through effort. Now, Frank isn't here tonight, but I was going to have him kind of talk about this. Talk to Bear Bronson. He told Frank to his face, me and Frank wrote off his match as just another match. So him and Slade went hard. And what happened? They laid down the best match of 2025 and one of the top 25 matches in GCW history. So I recommended the young guys chew it up, digest it in your brain, work towards better execution, and then spit out a better product. Because you can sit there and let anything anyone says get to you, or you can look at these little lights as guideposts that, hey, maybe I need to work on this, or maybe I need to do this, or maybe I need to do that. And again, don't think about just one's opinion. But if you do hear many people talking about this, it doesn't hurt to address it. And there's nothing wrong with trying harder, because until you're at the very tippy top, you should be trying your ass off. Remember, every match you have is truly a tryout match. People are watching. I think that's it. All right. So there's a video showing Matt Mako versus Masha Slamovich and the bounty on her head. He said he's not greedy for money. He's greedy for respect. Masha said nothing can save him from getting in the ring with her. Stop there, guys. That was everything we needed from Masha to keep her title reign fresh. No complaints on her work. We always wanted more from her, and we got it here. The championship I wrote finally has a voice. Masha, please keep that up. That's what we need here. What are you thinking, B?
Yeah, it was nice to see her kind of doing something further along title defense here and in a video wise, and kind of get some hype behind it. I'm actually going to kind of complain that we didn't get nothing from Foxcatcher. Like, I don't know if we're going to touch it here, touch it later, but like, I was kind of more disappointed in that. Like, yeah, we got that one that we talked about earlier. I'm pretty sure that's the same exact video that was first put out when they first did this Matt Mako one. So that was kind of my disappointment, was it was just the same video that we had before, and going into this match now. And I guess we'll cover the match. I'll get into it later, but no furthering of the Foxcatcher, which is, I found disappointing.
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. There's 10K on the line in this next match right here, B. 10K.
All right, our next match is for the JCW Championship as Masha Slamovich defends it against Matt Mako.
All right, well, let's talk about Matt Mako here. Matt Mako is motivated. I see another potential fighting champion if he were to win. I see a very active fighting champion. I had initial concerns about him having enough personality to hang at GCW, because the GCW fans love personality, but the promos are starting to shake any concern of that off a little. We now know his motivation and the reasoning behind it. He's a highly motivated person with a family. You know, he's trying to get his work done. I get that now. That keeps him from just being a vanilla kind of player. Now, on to Masha's side, this is Masha's 41st title defense in over 493 days. She's also a current 3-time champion, also holding the TNA Knockouts Championship for 234 days and the ICW Women's Championship 38 days. Also, the wife and I loved her purple gear, and of course, the fans were chanting, "Masha's gonna kill you." Both work to have a hard-hitting match. I noticed they'll probably both be sore afterwards. Mako worked over Masha pretty good, especially that left arm. He shows excellent control of body manipulation. Don't laugh, but in the old days, he would have been considered a hooker. One of the guys who understood joint manipulation, they would be considered the enforcers that would maybe injure a guy who hot-shotted or got out of line in some way. There were minutes where he was in control here. And like I said, at any time in the old school days with his look and everything, I think his specialty would be something like that. He would be kind of the boss's enforcer if he had to. Our finish here, Masha hits a white knight driver and covers for 3 and 11.5 minutes long. Still the JCW champion, Masha Slamovich. What did you think about this?
Yeah, I thought this was another match that met my expectations. I was looking for kind of a blood sport match that I saw earlier with Miyu and Blade. I was expecting that, and I got that in this one. It was very striking and grappling heavy, and I enjoyed it because both of them are very good at it. But just kind of going earlier, I was kind of hoping for a run in, a sort of I don't know, a false intervention, a false like turn off the lights, just kind of fake out, even a voice to kind of maybe go over the intercom. something to go on to is why was just Mako out there by himself with the money? Like it even during that video, Mako's like, it's not about the money because he's like doesn't care about the money, and Masha's like, it doesn't matter because I'm still gonna win. So it's kind of like the whole Foxcatcher right away stuff was just seemed like it was unimportant in this match where I think it should have had more importance. So I left this match. This in-ring was awesome, but storytelling, I left very disappointed. And I just hope we see more progress from the Foxcatcher story moving forward.
It was a quality match, though. And yeah, sadly, Mako goes home without the belt and $10,000 not in his pocket.
And see now, like now to further like even Mako here, like where does Mako go from here? He lost the belt. What's going to happen? He's just going to be thrown into like a random match. I would like to see like whoever this bounty hunter was, like putting out a little mini bounty on Mako for like not being able to do it. Kind of like make Mako pay for, like have him suffer for not fulfilling the bounty. And like I don't know, it just felt like Mako didn't even want to be a part of this whole bounty. And I don't know how that's going to fall into everything, but for me, I would kind of do like a little mini side off of the situation and kind of, I would even have maybe someone come out and like beat up Mako at the end of failing this one and kind of like send a message to the next person of Masha's going to defend, like, you better step it up. Like just something. Cause I feel like I want more of this from Matt Mako's story. I just feel like then the next time we see him, they're just going to be thrown in a random match with no story. And we're not going to see his personality and get more fans behind him and learn more about him. That's where I just kind of feel bad for him in this part. And I think that's why this whole Foxcatcher just, to me, it was built. Maybe it's just I'm the only one that was built up for everything and then disappointed because like that was for me the whole thing going into this show. What I talked about, the Foxcatcher, and we got nothing to further it. And I left pretty unhappy there, but it's not on Mako or Masha's fault. They put on exactly the kind of match I wanted to and delivered in that way. But storyline, I just felt like something else fell flat there.
I like the idea of having some overlord or over something that kind of does all this. Cause yeah, if Matt Mako failed, it would have been interesting if 2 or 3 people come out, kick the shit out of him, dragged him away, and like, well, you know what? Nice try. You failed. Who's next? And then make it truly an open bounty. I would even like to see it a point to where you see people fighting to fight her because, 1, 2, 3, 10K, I mean, that's winning a small lottery.
Coming broke. They got the broke people in there wanting to get your Lloyd in there. I wanted that 10,000 or whatever,
Shit, I'd get my friend and beg for a 2-on-1. I don't know. You can't do that with a championship. Something's wrong with me tonight. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking.
Yeah, open bounty. Great one. I know you said it a couple of weeks now in a row. I agree with you. Somehow, some way, it could be Brian Keith as the bounty hunter. Yeah, that would fucking make me pop and like regret everything I'm saying in the last 5 minutes. But that seems very unlikely. But who knows? We're getting some pretty big names showing up. We got Lee Moriarty and Brian Keith's right there. So now I'm talking myself into it again. I was disappointed 5 minutes ago. Now I'm happy again.
Well, I just want to go through some messages that some people wrote here because we forgot to get. Clown said the oldest WWE champion who should not be named was at 54. Oldest champion outside of WWE was Zbyszko. Interesting. So there we go. I mean, we would have a major champion decades older than the oldest recorded. Come on now, it's GCW. Where else? I mean, that's going to go in the history books. Why not give it to him for a night or two? Come on. Anyway, let's see what we have here. Bret Hart says that they'll ref the Goldberg match. Good to see Bret Hart has made it to chat tonight.
That's what I was laughing about earlier. Like right before we're going to this match, that's what I was laughing about.
Okay, so regarding Matt Mako, James said, highly recommend Mako's stuff in Power Pro Lucha. He's in a mask, which is different. Crow asked about how high will the bounty get to? Let's have some fun. How high do you think that thing will get? What about 50K? Dude, at 100K, that's such a big round number. Somebody huge would have to come in to take it.
I'm about to say 50K is even getting up there. Like it should start off at like 1K, now 5 or 3, then 5, then 10. Like you start off at 10. Like the next number's got to be 20 or 25.
Somebody has money. They ain't got independent wrestling money.
There we go. That's what I was going to say. The further along you're getting with this, it's going to have to be a name that just is still in a big company or just got released to have that kind of money, big company, for it to make sense, or it kind of goes into their character with Holiday Mason, something like that, you know, like someone that has the money and stuff. So I mean, that's why I'm disappointed. There's like some other way to further this Fox, like something, even a video of like, oh, you failed, like next person raise it, and like I don't know, it's just got to be something. $1 million.
$1 million.
Oh my goodness! But yeah,
what would you spend it on, B? What would you spend 10K on right now? You hand 10K. I'll tell you what I'm going to is bills.
What do you got? 10K. Like, I'm going to work tomorrow. Don't matter. Yeah. Pay the bills and some of the shit we got around this house. That's what I'm saying. I like that idea, but why would Oh, I see that.
JBL should
Manders.
Ooh. I know. I think at one time that had legs.
There's some stuff, yeah. There's a lot of places we could go to have fun with it, but that was supposed to be the doctor. Okay. I said it as I was like $1 million.
Let's see. Was there anything else to talk about on that one? I don't want to get any further onto the Masha thing. Yeah. We did all right. I just want to praise that having some form or semblance of a storyline for Masha is definitely a big help, at least on our end as fans, just to give us something to break down the monotony of what's the difference between win 22 and win 38. Just something in between there to break it up. We're getting a little bit of that. Hopefully it continues.
Yeah, and I don't have that off the top of my head, but we'll talk about it later probably. I think she has a couple matches coming up here. Or no, a couple matches in JCW that could have some implications on the world title.
Ooh.
Our last matchup of the evening is the Mayhem in the Mecca. Beastman teaming with Mad Dog Connelly going against Bam Sullivan and Matt Tremont. Oh, I like that name too. Sorry, I didn't see that name.
No. That's the Rumble at Ridgefield.
Like that name.
Okay, 16 and a half minutes long. I got some notes here, but again, this was a crazy wild brawl. I did my best. First, thank you for the split screen sponsored by GCW merch. That was great to have. B, maybe you and I need to sponsor something at some point. Maybe if there's like a 3-way screen or something.
We need to hit up this Foxcatcher and get some of that money then. I don't know. Can it be a handicap, me and you against Masha?
Well, I know I ain't Foxcatcher. I ain't got that money.
How about to say, I'd like to sponsor something. Yeah.
I also want to say, Brett, nice touch with the WWE fake New Jack music that kept going over and over. I'm guessing Brett found the humor in that too.
We woke Frankie up.
Oh, he's alive. What's up, Frankie? Oh, in my Christian wrestling venue. That's true. I think the sign went down too for the God sign that was up on there. I don't know. There was a famous sign up on there. Frankie was in here. He'd tell us about it. Beastman and Connelly came out first. Connelly had his dog collar and chain, but they are hit with a surprise attack from Bam and Tremont. Tremont was dumping a trash can full of weapons. I saw trash cans, trash can lids, tiki torches, a chain, kendo stick, pie pans, a road cone, tongs for cooking for like a barbecue, a monitor for a computer, a cheese grater, door, and forks. The bell, I don't even know when or if, but I guess it rang at some point. I didn't hear it. Brutality's going down. In the background, you can see Jay Lucas and Teriyaki ordering something from concessions. Chairs and people had to be cleared from one side of the ring. Beastman placed a cone on Bam's head and then threw a monitor at it. We had a sit-down 2-on-2 punch fest, a la Tremont style. Bam goes for a dive off the stage. Brett in the background, you can see him waving his hands like, no. Mad Dog gets suplexed on the bare floor while the Black Abdullah is carving up the Beastman with a fork. Something was thrown in the ring and Adam saw it. I couldn't tell what it was, but he pointed at someone and kind of smiled. I don't know what happened there. Beastman broke up a pin by splashing his body on top of them. There was a bounce in the ring. It was brutal. All four men finally made it into the ring in the last minute or two. Connelly was put through a door. Mad Dog then put his dog collar on Tremont, and he wanted a microphone. He basically took Tremont and put him on the ropes, and he said, whatever happens to Bam, it's your fault, Matt. They end up seeing each other then on July 6th in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Beastman hits a cannonball on Bam, then Mad Dog hits a basement drop kick on Bam, and they cover for 3. They stare at Tremont the whole time as the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Tremont is screaming no. I felt like we had real drama going on here. It was kind of fun to see. That's what it's all about, boys and girls. Our winner here, Beastman and Mad Dog Connelly. No, the GCW Ultraviolent title was not on the line for this match. Tremont was fucked up. He passed out. Bam is put through a door, and both are finished. Mad Dog and Beastman, they don't stop. Beastman is over Bam yelling Husk, and that's when the show came to a close. This was busy as shit, man. What do you think here?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it note for note on the match. And yeah, you just stole my last note of there. I was going to say there was a lot going on, and there was a lot going on there, and I loved every minute. I mean, we had Carnage, we had the Anarchy, the arena paying homage to it. Here's my one criticism. They could have stopped that music a long time ago. Like, that music got annoying near the last part. When they got back in the ring, it should have stopped it. My opinion, whatever. It was cool though. The Carnage everywhere was awesome. I loved it. That was a perfect way to end the night. Beastman, Mad Dog Connelly, everybody, Bam, Sullivan, Tremont, they all knocked it out of the park there. But yeah, like, I loved how even in the middle of the match, we got like a little story and a tease, and now we got Mad Dog Connelly and Tremont. Now, I will kind of wish it wasn't a dog collar match just because we kind of had one, but I think they're going to provide a totally different kind of style of dog collar match than we saw with Joey and Atticus. So I'm excited still that we're going to see them, but I would have not just gone back to back in the kind of gimmick match that they just kind of did go to. But I'm excited to see what they can do. I'm excited to have that story being told in that match to kind of lead to it. It was stories like that. That's my theme of the night. That's been my theme forever, is like stories make everything worth talking about and get me more excited for the next show. And yeah, I'll admit it now, I'm not a giant Mad Dog Connelly fan and Beastman. Like, I haven't watched a lot of them to be fans of, but I'm full on engaged here. This Beastman and Mad Dog Connelly tag team was just dynamic, and I love the craziness that they provide. And I want to see this match. I want to see them move forward and see what's going to happen at the next JCW show. If they just ended the show like this way, I would like to see more carnage on the next show, and see Mad Dog Connelly and Beastman kind of keep that momentum going. Because right now I'm all in on those two as a pairing, and I felt, as you said, I felt the energy from Tremont. Like, no, like that. I hope we don't see Sullivan for a little bit, or Sullivan's on commentary, he gets beat up, and then Tremont has to come out and defend him. Because I know there's got to be a lot of history there with Tremont and Sullivan. So I'm all in. Like, I'm excited. I'm in. The story brought me into it. It was a great way to end the show, and I'm excited for the next one.
Frankie says this right here. My note on the show is that I get that the dog collar match is Mad Dog's gimmick, but that's way too close to Atticus and Joey to run it back. That is a fantastic point right there, is that you have this. Okay, first of all, dog collar matches are not all the time. I mean, not at all. So to have one back and then a couple weeks later have another one back, that does kind of make sense. That's a little maybe too much there. That's saying nothing against either man. This is what they called for, but this is one of those things where if I take a stage dive, maybe you don't take a stage dive this show. This might be one of those cases where people don't want to step over each other's shit. And here we are in that situation, maybe just a little bit. Also, because they're so close together, they're going to get compared, which means one of these matches are going to look worse than the other, and both deserve every bit of effort. A match like this is not to be taken lightly. So
I think they're going to go a totally different way in this one, though. I think we're going to see a lot more different kind of craziness from those two. There we go, Beastman.
The Husk has entered.
I love it, man. I love it. I think we're going to see a totally different kind of dog collar match than we saw from Tremont and Mad Dog and Atticus Joe. I think they're going to be two separate. They have to be at this point, and I think they will be just by movesets and how like each person's kind of does their matches and kind of comes up with them. So I'm excited to see the difference. But yeah, that's my one thing too. I wouldn't have done it so close, but I also kind of look at it as maybe two different promotions, even though we're covering both promotions. Like, it's kind of like when someone does like the what's it called, War Games match, and like 3 months later, then you get the same War Games match in AEW, whatever they call it. I forget the name, but I mean, it's different promotions, different ways. So who knows? But I'm excited to see it either way, especially now, like I said, now that we have some story and some emotion being built into it. I'm invested for sure.
Well, I was thinking that if JCW was another year further along and had what looked like a more recognizable roster, like if you, let's just use Beastman because he was here. If you see Beastman, you go, that's a JCW guy. Like you would know that's who that is, you know. I would have liked to have seen JCW kind of build a little bit of a quote unquote roster as much as an independent wrestling company can. And it would be interesting that when JCW and GCW got into their little fight, it would be cool to see little brother JCW, like 4 or 5 people from there come over and maybe save us in the end. Kind of like a team building thing. Also, it would, you know, kind of solidify the GCW, JCW atmosphere a little closer together. But I don't know. Down the road, we'll see what happens. But Tremont's no joke. And I want to also say Mad Dog Connelly on the microphone was excellent. Very easy to understand. Same thing. Verbose, knows what he has to say and says it. Generally, when you see these beast style characters, you don't think they can always talk, or you don't think, you know what, or they keep it simple because they are a beast. You know, this isn't Abraham Lincoln you know, giving out the address. This is more like just, I'm going to beat your ass. Very simple. So yeah, Mad Dog was a great mouthpiece here. And same with Beastman. Basically, you only say what you need to say. That's a true animal right there. What are you going to do? That's a true beast. Fucking corny. But yeah, Beastman, Mad Dog Connelly pulled off this win here. I felt like it was a good main event. I'm a big fan of fuckery, and I'm a big fan of just violence. And I see a lot of growth coming from the younger guys, and I see a lot of the older guys kind of keeping this main event held down together. So I don't know. Anything else?
I just like how the whole JCW show was just kind of like GCW, kind of like not in the similar like vibe or everything, but like you had this crazy chaotic match at the end. You had the fun tag match at the beginning with 2 different styles. You had the Masha Matt Mako, stylistically great matchup. Miyu Jordan Blade, stylistically great matchup. Like we saw all these variations. Like I like to see where JCW goes forward, and some of the talent they are bringing in, and some of the cards that we're probably going to go over here or discuss in the coming up future are going to be pretty strong here. And I'm excited for JCW moving forward.
Well, I'll just kind of run a little summary down real quick. I have some top performances of the weekend. I have that Mathers and Bengston fight. I felt like that was a snapshot of the future. Charles Mason and Jake Parnell, we got to feel a little of what it would feel like to be a face Mason. I thought that was kind of fun. Teriyaki and Jay Lucas, I felt like, again, another snapshot of the future down the road. And just Slamovich and Mako, at least getting a story together is way better than not having one. But my standout match of the weekend, of course, because I'm that kind of guy, the Rumble at Ridgefield. It was busy, it was messy, it was full of weapons, and it was just plain fun. So that was the match that really stuck out for me this weekend. Was there one for you, B, that kind of stuck out more than the others?
Mason Parnell. Just seeing the growth of Jake Parnell, that character, and like not even the growth, just the reinvention of it, and I love it. Mason and they had a good match, but like just seeing Jake Parnell, kind of like the reinvention of him was awesome. And for me, the Rumble and Ridgefield as well, leading I love that chaotic ending. That was where I guess the 2 big highlights for me.
Jersey championship Jersey and
Jersey championship wrestling. It says,
yeah, maybe the JCW merge like WCW and ECW. So that's where we got Jersugalo. We've got I would watch championship. That's right. I forgot. That's the original Juggalo was championship. I also like Juggersy. I don't know why, just sounds funny. And then there we go. Actually, I was gonna say, if you get a chance, I think it's every Thursday on YouTube. Juggalo Championship Wrestling releases an episode on there. I think there was 2 this last week. Effie was on there and several others. We're softly invading over there. So if you have a chance, maybe go over there and check it out. It is free. And a Juggersy. I don't know what kind of wrestling company that is. I'd watch it. So we always talk about how JCW shows are somewhat smaller shows. So a lot of people wonder if there's any progressions of storylines or whatnot. Here are some of the things that came out of this weekend here on JCW. We had 4 debuts: Darian, Bengston, Gypsy, Mac, Ava Everett, and Nixi XS. We had the return of Janai Kai to JCW. Miyu Yamashita continuing her work in the US. Some acknowledgement to Deppen stepping away from the ring and an impromptu match. We had Masha, Mako, Foxcatcher storyline. And lastly, we had Mad Dog Connelly and Tremont that set up that July 6th match in Asbury Park. I felt like once I wrote it down, there was some busy things going on here. Anything else you wanted to take away from this weekend?
No, I like the story. Like I said, the storylines. I'm excited to see. Hopefully, they progress to the next show. And so yeah, some of those names. I'm excited to see Darian for sure in JCW, and him picking up the win over Marcus Mathers is a very strong start. And I want to see maybe he gets a little push and see what maybe challenges next for the Masha's belt. And yeah, those are like the 2 big ones, the debuts for sure for me.
Well, guess what, bud? We get to loosen up now. The Jersey talk is over. Now we get to talk about the upcoming shows coming up. It's going to be nice and easy. You ready to rock on that?
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. All right. Upcoming shows. Our first one, Friday, June 20th, GCW's Bangin In Little Rock from the Hall in Little Rock, Arkansas. This will be broadcast live on Triller TV Plus. Brant, the first one I want to talk to you about. I want your opinions on Shotzi Blackheart versus Atticus Cogar. My notes in capitals just say YES.
Ditto. I like how immediately they're calling back to their last match right away in their history, and seeing where they both have been and now are as performers, and their popularity from then till now is going to be, that's a very strong welcome back for Shotzi for sure.
And Atticus has been on this run where he said he's not about deathmatch as much as he's about larger matches with higher profile people. Here comes Shotzi, and here comes Atticus's match with her. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really think that Shotzi has a thing for art, and Atticus has a thing for the same thing. He has a thing for art. So I'm really looking forward to what comes out of this. I know that there was just recently an Atticus video preview for a video that's coming out tomorrow. So he did a little preview for 30 seconds. There's something coming out tomorrow, and I think Shotzi was the subject in that one. Am I right? Wrong?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying her diving into social media and using it to further all her upcoming matches and the Shotzi indie god stuff that she's got going with Cardona. Like, she's absolutely hitting the independent scene the right way and getting her name back out. Like, not back out there, but out there, still fresh in everyone's mind. I like what she's doing so far, being free with her freedom.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. The Shotzi Cardona back and forth. I feel like that's what independent wrestling really should be. I think it should be more like taking shots at each other and which company's gonna, host that fight. The wrestlers are selling it. Who's gonna host it? And that's who's gonna make money. I love that idea a lot.
And it led to her to get that big match too against Cardona too. Like that, I said, she's nailing it. Whatever she's doing so far, she's been spot on with getting engagement and getting like me. I would have like her coming back to GCW. I was excited, but now like she's like doing some good art, the videos and promotion and getting invested in other companies. It's going to be fun to watch what she does. Like I said, without any chains and by her own freedom.
Okay, our next one. Elena Black versus Joey Janela. I wrote here that I'm interested in what comes out of this match. It is big enough that it should have a story. But here we are. Friday is only 3 days away. Nothing to go on that one. But again, it's Joey. There should be more to it.
And especially Elena Black with her character and the promos. I think like that's where I think Shotzi's been nailing. I think Elena, she did a couple good ones at the first, but like I maybe I missed promo into this match, but like this is like where you said it's almost coming up this week. Would be a good time to see there we go, and call back to the history. I was gonna say call back to the history and like get the fans invested in why this match actually means something to her, being her first match back in the end, or maybe it's not her first match. She's wrestled Black Label I think the other day, but big like in GCW, her first match back in GCW, make a bigger deal about it. Maybe that's to come here in the next couple days.
Great one said here, Shotzi's new totally original YouTube series is amazing. I haven't seen that yet. That's something worth checking out when you get a chance. Great one. If you have a chance, maybe tell us what it's about. I don't know if it's just her kicking it and doing stuff, or is it about video games or something? Or,
I think he might be making fun of that's her new ones, the Shotzi, the Long Island story.
Okay. I know.
I could be wrong. Maybe it is something new, but I think maybe that's why he wrote it. Totally original. There we go.
So this
Shotzi
right here is what
tutorial.
I have a feeling. Yeah, Clown is probably right on. Shotzi probably made a list and is like, I'm going to check this one, check this one. I think that's what a lot of wrestlers who come out of WWE and AEW should do. Is I think they should at least dip their toe once, maybe twice, maybe even a 3 series over here at GCW, just to say you got it in the books. Historically, we are a place that you want to be at least one time. Get your face on it. Get yourself in front of the fans. The GCW fans are some of the best out there. Yeah, I just felt like this one should have had a story. Onward to Billy Starks versus Adam Priest. Again, welcome back to both. I'm really especially happy to see Billy back. Wow, that was a weird one. I don't know. I always feel like since she's part of AEW, we're just not going to see her, and we've been fortunate that we can see her since she does ROH.
I feel like this might be a ROH AEW tryout for Adam Priest to lock on more full-time spots. I think we've seen him in Ring of Honor a couple times, but I have a feeling like this might be one of those matches. Like, hey, let's see what you have to come back and say about Adam Priest, and maybe we'll see Adam Priest in Ring of Honor a little bit more.
Steve saying, hey, you know what? It kind of lacks a little bit. I will say one thing for sure. It is lacking title defenses. There's only one on this card, the GCW World Championship. We'll get to that here soon. But yeah, 2 wrestling heavy matchups. We'll talk about the first one here. Jonathan Gresham versus Gary J. I think that's going to be a technical matchup. Any words on that one?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Gresham just back in GCW. And I don't like Gary J. I can't remember the last. I'll be honest, like off the top of my mind, I can't remember. I think the last time, like I even said, like I wasn't expecting much, and I left like impressed. So like I'm looking forward to see what he does again, but I just can't remember exactly. I think I might be mixing him up with some other wrestler from Bloodsport.
Could have been Mako. No. Well, okay. Honestly, I will say though, like sometimes I feel like the MMA heavy wrestlers, if they don't show a certain amount of personality, they all kind of lump together.
I was about to say, was Gary J the one that was supposed to be get the Bloodsport spot and then didn't get put on the card? Is that Gary J? Or no, that might be who I'm thinking of. That's why I'm like, honestly, yeah, you're saying that's what I'm kind of hoping for. Is like, I think I might be mixing those 2 wrestlers up if it's not the same person.
Reed has it right here. Pizza Cat versus Pizza Cat Jr. I think that's coming.
Lou Nixon. See, that's why I'm confusing Lou Nixon and Gary J with them. Sorry.
And there we are again, where it's an MMA person. Sometimes they don't separate themselves enough. I wish there was a better way for them to do so, but they just put their head down and kick ass. What are you going to do? All right. Blake Christian versus Miyu Yamashita. Again, should be another great matchup here. Wrestling heavy, probably strike heavy too. And I'm just happy to see Blake back, man.
Yeah,
I really am. I never thought
my thing. The only thing I'm happy for is to see Blake back and see what's going to like. Are they going to further the Tony story there? Or are they just going to drop it? Is this going to lead to more appearances? I think he's only been announced for this one, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm gonna be a hard ass for a second and say I want to see more out of Miyu Yamashita. I feel like she's kind of dialing a little bit in, and I'm gonna say it because of this. I actually had a chance to see a couple matches of hers over in Japan. Whew. I really want to see her step it up for someone somehow because she's a badass.
I go opposite. I think we have.
Really?
This is the best I've seen her. Like working in LA and Collective Weekend and. Maybe not so much in this match against Jordan Blade. Like it wasn't like the bigger names that she was at working. Like Billy, the match she had with Billy was awesome. I think yes. I'm actually more of a fan of Mia now than when she first came in for sure. Because I think the opposite. I think her matches she definitely has stepped up in my opinion, or from what I expected or wanted to see from her.
And she is a big GCW fan, by the way. So I want everyone to know she's on our side and she's one of us. She pays to come over here and work her ass off at GCW.
Nice.
So I got to give her credit for that. On to that one championship match that we're going to have. GCW World Champion Effie is going to go up against Action Mike Jackson. And that's where I was going to say again, do you think Brett would be willing to put that belt on Mike Jackson and create the oldest world champion ever in pro wrestling history? I don't think it's going to happen.
If Richard Holiday was the champion, maybe, but not Effie. Like a heel, like
Effie's in a weird spot,
that kind of way. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a heel, not disrespecting Holiday, but like a heel of like Holiday stature, like the back away, like, oh my god, what? I just got quick pinned, and like, no, that was like, just complain in the ring and not make it a big deal. Like, I don't think Effie is the kind of person to do it against, but I think Mason would be, or Holiday.
Well, let's see, what else do we have here? Also mention we do have an appearance scheduled by KJ Orso, which means I don't know if he's going to just speak to kind of further his storyline or if they're possibly waiting for an opponent for him. I'm not sure there.
Within driving distance, within Stackhouse's terror stomping grounds.
It is. It is.
Sir. I hope we get some more Stackhouse.
I like that. I also want to say that my wife bought me a Father's Day cameo from Effie for fun, and it was really good. And I've gotten things before for fun, but he kind of knows us to a degree too. And he sent a really nice message, and it made my day. And I've listened to it now 2 or 3 times and just been like, this is what I needed to hear. He said he did. He said a lot of nice things about us and about everything. And it was really nice. So nice. Thank you to Effie for the cameo. Appreciate it a lot. And yeah, if you get a chance to get one from him, he's a ton of fun, and he usually does something fun to spice it up. He was taking the dog for a walk while he shot mine. It was pretty damn cool. I do definitely recommend that if you get the chance. But yeah, that was Friday, June 20th. GCW's Bangin In Little Rock from Little Rock, Arkansas. We good to go then into that second night on Sunday?
Yes. GCW's Take a Picture from the Truman in Kansas City, Missouri.
All right. So the first match here that it kind of popped out to me, Matt Cardona versus Jimmy Lloyd. This is a continuation of their deathmatch royalty / broski storyline from last year that's been bleeding into this year. How do you feel about that one? Do you think this will be finally the end?
I don't think it'll be the end. I think they're going to probably send the end maybe for homecoming. Cardona would hopefully would want to do something big. I don't know. I thought maybe could have been the end right away at Hammerstein, but there is some meat on those bones. I think maybe it might be I think we might get the end at like homecoming or something like that. Who knows though? I'm just glad to see it keep on progressing and seeing Cardona back in GCW.
The more Cardona, the better. He is views. He is money. I mean, he always puts on a quality match. He always brings storylines to the front. This has been a very I need storylines heavy show. We've just been, and I think it's because
like that for a while.
Well, but I felt like maybe it's just been mentioned more or something. More, by me at least. More
I think we're getting it, and like we're finally getting some, and they're good, and we just want more. We're just greedy bastards.
Hey, let me tell you. Hey, let me tell you, if these guys are running a 10-hour plane, 10-hour drive on the way home, 6-hour plane trip, that's a lot of time to maybe come up with something creatively to make you more interesting. Yeah. I don't think it's too much to ask for, especially when we know that formula is, is successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too. Like, there's got to be something going into this.
Well, if Shotzi wants to make a crew at GCW to go against Deathmatch Royalty, that would be great. But he'd have to pull Mance back and say that again.
She's already got Jimmy.
Well, there we go.
I mean, that's Jimmy, but I don't know.
She got Jimmy. Hey, that's one. She got Jimmy. That's good.
She'll get some more. We'll get some more. I don't know. Like I had a weird thing about it, because I don't think it's like Ali catches time to come back yet. But I was like, I just feel all the women coming back, and Ali with the world title, so it could be like that hot girl summer stuff going on in GCW. Like,
oh yeah,
just the big names dominating like all these big shows.
Well, then we'll move on to this next one here. We have KJ Orso versus Dan the Dad. I wrote that KJ's been acting up. Maybe Dan will be the heavy hand KJ needs to come back to reality. We hope, but
I like it.
So you're
the dad shirt that day, or fan that day.
And then yeah, Clown said here that Sam said in an interview he would be at both GCW shows this weekend. So we're anticipating something going on. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but something. Also, yeah, so we have an appearance we don't have a scheduled appearance by Sam Stackhouse though in Little Rock, but he said he's going to be at both. So either he gave away too much at an interview and KJ's is going to have his head on a swivel, or I don't know. Maybe that one fell through the cracks. We have Joey Janela versus Jack Cartwheel. We forget that Joey still isn't 100% yes. That's actually a big problem here. The question is, can he do a cartwheel? Do you think Janela can do a cartwheel right now?
I would say no, because of all the beatings he had. I don't know. I think that this might be a time for like Joey Janela to pick up a few losses here because of all the beatdown he just got from Atticus and Otis of just what, 2 weeks? Last week, a week ago, then 2 weeks later, now going against Cartwheel. Then just prior, he had the crazy barbed wire death match with Sabu. Like, he's been through a lot of wars. I would like to maybe start seeing these wars if they start catching up to him or not, and maybe Jack Cartwheel picking up a nice surprise victory here over Joey Janela.
Cartwheel's another one. I'm happy he's still with us. I told him a long time ago, I go, dude, you're going to do great. People just need to see you. Less than a year later, he's got a WWE ID contract. He's working for WWE. He's doing independent scene. Like, everything about this is awesome. Still one of my favorite interviews that we had too. He was a real joy when we did our interview.
It was fun.
Okay, so on to our GCW Ultra Violent Championship. We have Matt Tremont versus Too Tough Tony. There was a little tension after that face-to-face at the last event where they eventually started fighting with each other when it was Team GCW versus Team JCW. Really looking forward to this one. This will be the first time that both of these guys have fought each other in a ring one-on-one. 22 years in the making.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see that finally, like a historical matchup happen, because when I heard that made me really into that match. And especially that brawl too. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this one.
Well, then on to this GCW Tag Team Championship. We have Young, Dumb, and Price versus the team of Miyu, Yamashita, and Billy Starks. I wrote here that Miyu and Billy had good chemistry. The last match they had together, they seemed to get along really well. If Miyu is around and if we could get Billy around, I see the possibility of a tag team and maybe even a little mentorship coming from Miyu to help out Billy in the long term, which can never be a bad thing. It seems like Billy's a smart one and she's always trying to get better and learn.
Yeah, I'm excited for this title defense too. I think this is a totally different stylistic matchup for Young, Dumb, and Price. And I want to see, as you said, the chemistry that Billy and Yamashita have. I'm excited to see how that works as a tag team. I think this might be one of those matches that kind of has a chance to steal the card just because of, I think stylistically, they're all just going to mesh well together and tell a pretty good story compared to what the rest of the card and how crazy the rest of the card is compared to that match.
Something tells me this could be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? There's going to be some smiles here. On to the GCW World Championship. GCW World Champion Masha Slamovich will be taking on Mickey Knuckles. To me, this is another much awaited matchup that I hope turns ultra violent. I love Mickey, and I feel she needs to be at GCW. She's a future Hall of Famer, and we need her best work to be on tape here at GCW. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I wonder if it is going to get ultra violent. I think if so, that's definitely going to lead in Mickey's favor. But if not, it's definitely going to go on Masha's, and it'd be interested to see Mickey in a different kind of style matchup than we're used to seeing with her everywhere else. I just think that was one of those like holy shit moments when they faced off in that little brawl at the terminal. I thought that was pretty cool. The crowd popping for them and the little showdown. I'm excited to see it just because how crazy and different it's going to be as well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of hers. I'd like to see her get it's like Tremont. I'd like to see her get an extensive run where she kind of gets her flowers for what she's done for the decades of work she's put in. And she's still taking abuse like she's 22 out there and she's only 23. So good for her. On to our last match here. We have GCW's World Championship, Effie versus Too Cold Scorpio. I wrote I was happy to see Scorpio back. Would love to see an ECW style hardcore match here. I don't know if I was ever going to see Too Cold Scorpio again, so I'm really going to try to enjoy this one. We were front row for his last match, though, I believe. not 100% sure there, but yeah, welcome back to him, man. He's get that money, brother. Get that money.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear his name being brought back and then thrown in against Effie too. So I'm interested to see what happens there. They had an interesting matchup the last time I think I saw them in LA. So that one's gonna be fun. Ran back again.
Also, there hasn't been a match yet, but I would say expect one. It shows here an appearance by John Gresham. You don't pull John Gresham out of anywhere for no match. So I have a feeling they're waiting on a name here, or they're keeping it close to their chest for a reason.
Yeah, I hope it's something pretty new, because like all the new matchups I've been watching them have in GCW has been fun.
Hell yeah,
I agree right here with you. GCW in Arizona is going to be epic. Yeah, I'm actually starting to plan out some some sick days and stuff at the job to get Arizona off.
So are you doing Arizona and LA?
That's why I about to say I thought they did just announce a Gresham match. I couldn't find it. There we go. Gresham versus Gotch.
Is that it right there?
Yeah, because I remember I thought it was like, I think it was like a name that has. I love that match. That is just better be no striking. That has grappling written all over. That is going to be fun.
Thank you so much. Great one.
Thank you.
Appreciate
you. I just did see that.
Oh my gosh.
What were you saying now? Arizona.
I was going to ask you about Arizona. You making plans for Arizona and LA, or no?
That's the tough one. Actually, I think Arizona is a Friday and LA is the Saturday, so Arizona might be the tough one. Oh crap! I just thought about that. We'll see. One of them at least. Arizona. Hopefully, maybe I could take the day off. We'll see.
Dude, in LA, I want to see if there's a way we can do a total blackout. Everyone in black GCW shirts, like LA Raiders style, like old 80s, 90s blackout.
I wish they would bring back like those, like they did with the Lakers. They did that Lakers shirt, the Lakers mat. Like I wouldn't mind like a little Dodgers blue mat, Dodgers blue shirt. Like I wish they would kind of do that a little bit more often when they go to the bigger places and stuff, and kind of do more themed kind of shows.
Bro, the way LA sells out, why we don't have a Dodgers GCW colors blows my mind. At minimum, Dodgers GCW. I mean, those color. I mean, if anybody sees, man, ladies and gentlemen out here in LA love the Dodgers. So I mean, that's an easy one if someone could put that one together.
I agree with it. I can't do black in Arizona because it's
So is that going to be at the Nile, the next one, or is that in a special spot?
No, it's
I
at the
heard
Nile.
There's an event. Okay.
So, all right. So sneak peek, and I just found this out, and I think maybe I was told the first time, and I don't remember it. So what at the Nile, the last GCW show. So the show's upstairs. There's a downstairs where people are going to like a full on concert and everything. So that's why downstairs they're going to be having like the music festival kind of going on, while upstairs are going to be like the wrestling. But then the next day, I think, is when the music festival continues without the wrestling. Something similar to that. Maybe Saturday, one day's wrestling and one day's wrestling. I don't know. I think they're both going to be happening together, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, somebody's going to have to consider parking a little further away than usual, because if it's going to be a festival and that at the same time at that place, it's probably going to be pretty packed on the streets even for parking.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice venue though. Like I didn't like when it was going on last time. Like, what is all that music? They're like, oh, it just started a concert downstairs. I'm like, what?
Yeah, because Brett's a Mets fan. That's why I won't do Dodgers.
That makes some
Fuck
sense.
The Mets. Fuck the Mets.
Oh,
watch them come on, and I'll be like, no, sir, yes, sir. I love the Mets. The Mets are great.
Next week, our new full-time co-host.
Our new co-host.
John's replaced by Frank after those comments.
John mysteriously disappeared off of Twitter. Nobody knows what happened to him.
Now you got the enemies now.
Oh no. I've been pretty good so far. I have very dude, seriously, we've been very fortunate to not have people give us any trouble. I think they've figured out we're not that ego type shit starters type. No. Fortunately. There we are. Fuck Soto, go Yanks. All right. Oh, I forgot to tell everybody's second half of the show is MLB talk.
check out LinkedIn, get your LinkedIn pages up to date, and check out Indeed.com, and check out for new Game Changer World co-hosts opening up. I'll be looking for one, as John and Frank will be gone from this show next week.
Fuck the Mets. Oh my God. I might want to see if I've got a message by now.
About to say, yeah, we got
that's great. Okay, so
did you get a message on the other thing or no?
I keep all my stuff up. I haven't gotten anything tonight, so
I say we hold off then.
Yeah, we're gonna hold off on any news for
gotcha, great one
any
next week,
backyard use until we know. But we do have some backyard stuff, but we want to make sure it's cleared first. We have conversations where Brett gets busy and then he moves on to something else, so I'm not able to get so we were halfway, we got half a conversation done, and we didn't finish everything, but I do have a graphic here and we were going to talk further, but I believe we got busy.
Yeah.
So, was there anything else you wanted to talk about before I go into our little closing here? We're under 2 hours and it feels weird. Yeah. See? Yeah. Huh. We'll find out who the fox catcher is real quick. It'll be the wolf catcher.
There you go. Wolf catcher.
Forgot how to play best baseball. Alcohol. Yep. I can see where that comes in. Great one's ready to fill it next week if he has to. Yes.
W. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. Go ahead. Do what you did.
No. We're good. Up. Last time we got an epic card. Easy like Zack Saber.
We're hoping. We were talking about this last week. We were hoping maybe we get as the big payoff and the big main event of Arizona. Definitely should be Stackhouse versus Fuego. Just of everything that. Since Arizona's first show in Fuego and Stackhouse has kind of been there and been like the most popular, and all their stories have kind of worked along in there. That was the first time we saw them in GCW as a tag team in Arizona. Probably the last time we saw them in GCW as a tag team in Arizona with the Atticus and Otis. I think that hopefully Arizona could get the main event payoff of those two as well.
And then Frankie just mentioned God's Hate is going to be playing the festival the next day. Ooh,
Brody,
kind of better. Dude, I'd love to go be like, dude. Body slam me.
Brody's got to be announced for that show, man.
Wouldn't that be kick ass if he came on and he came in that show?
Oh my, that place would fucking be roughed. I miss Brody back in GCW. Brody was awesome in GCW. That was kind of like my first face-to-face exposure of him outside of like some TV and other work. Like my first time seeing him face-to-face was GCW. And like, yeah, his first match, he was all bloodied. I love this shit. I'm like, yeah, he's one of ours. Let's keep him. Gabe Kidd would be nice too. Yeah. Gabe Kidd one. Yeah, we've been dying for.
Man. All right. Yeah. Well, anything else anybody wanted to talk about? Now's the last chance.
I know. Yeah, short show tonight, but we got a lot to talk about next week.
So we average like 1 or 2 minutes under 3 hours per episode, and this one's going to bring our average down heavily tonight.
It's all right.
That's still double the amount of time we were ever asked to do. Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Imagine us doing an hour and bouncing out every Tuesday. I'd feel like I screwed over everybody we listen to, like we have on the show, if we just did only an hour.
We would, there wouldn't be too much to talk. In an hour, we'd be in the second match, but at that time of a 2-day weekend.
Could you imagine how little my notes would actually look if,
Jesus, right there.
Oh, if only. That's another thing I wanted to mention. Did everybody catch that little nugget where Bear Bronson said that he wants Tremont and Lauderdale said, okay. So it sounds like here, Tremont versus Bear Bronson. It's a matter of when. It's going to happen. Brett said okay to it. I don't know much more than that just yet.
I'll definitely take it.
Yeah, WWE. I'm guessing it's an Arizona guy there, hoping he. Dude, I love seeing Mance be. Mance is a friend of the show. We'll say hats off to Mance. We love Mance always.
As long as my hat is not off in his hands right now, because I'd be tossing it.
Not against it.
Yeah, me either.
The Black Abdullah versus the Bear. I love the Black Abdullah. That's just so funny. I'm always going to say that when the fork comes out. It's too fun. All right, then I'll go into upcoming shows and we'll bounce the hell out of here. Does that sound good, or anything else?
Nothing I could think of. I think that's it.
Okay.
All the notes.
Well, before I go into my little spiel, I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. We had a very little JCW show to talk about, so we don't expect tens of thousands of people signing in tonight, but those who did come in here are the ones that we see quite a bit, and it's very nice to see all of you here. Yeah, before I ramble any further, thank you. Seriously and sincerely, thank you so much. We're very blessed to do what we do here with GCW. All right. Upcoming shows are finished. On to our last little spiel here. So again, please I need a drink. Let's try this again. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell if you want notified when we go live next time. We do prefer you watch live on YouTube. This is the best place for interaction. Super chats are available if you want to donate. And thanks again for those who have donated. You can find B on Twitter at B_GC World, and you can find me on Twitter at GC World Podcast. Follow GCW on all socials, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Head to longlivegcw.com to check out GCW's official website. Go to gcwmerch.com if you want new shirts, hats, hoodies, pins, stickers, and more. And check out GCW on Patreon. We have a podcast with Brett called The History of GCW, where we dive back into GCW shows from years ago and discuss stories that have never been shared before. As always, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with us tonight. Again, I said these are special nights together. We will be seeing you next week. We have a very full show ahead of us. Expect a much larger show than this one next time. And as always, B.
And hopefully you're on next week.
Yeah, hopefully
I have a co-host. Hopefully I'm able to come on next week, or we might not have a show.
Yeah, who knows what company I'll be pushing next week. I'm so angry. Oh no. Anyway,
thank you again, everybody. Yeah, with the new start time too. We know some people are coming in late and we're starting earlier than normal. So check us out. Thank you guys. Yes, thank you all so much for stopping by, and yeah, another fun night of JCW talk.
Oh, and as always, long.
Okay, that's a good start.
No, that was not. Live. He didn't. GCW.
W.
Love you. Good night. I love y'all.